Okay, so these are our notes on writing compound inequalities, which means that there's like two combined into one. So we're starting off with a chart again. We've got words, algebra, and then graphs. We're going to start off with how someone would say it out loud. Then we're going to write it out how you will in algebra, and then we'll show it on a number line. So just drawing a graph like we did on our first set of notes in this unit. So make sure you guys are writing this down. So the first one that we are writing says all real numbers greater than 2 and less than or equal to 5. So the key words here are going to be and or. So that's why I'm writing and in all caps. So to write that as an algebra statement, we write the smallest number on the left, the biggest number on the right, x in the middle, and then you kind of figure out your inequalities based on that. So they should both face to the left, and then you have to they should point to the left. Then you have to figure out whether or not to put an equal sign underneath. That's how you always are going to write an and inequality. So on a number line, we're going to have an open circle on 2 and a closed circle on 5 because it's not equal to 2, but it is equal to 5. And then for and inequalities, they connect the two dots in the middle. So here's another example of an and. This one says all real numbers greater than or equal to -2 and less than or equal to 3. So this is another and. Our smallest number is going to be -2 and our biggest number is going to be 3. So pay attention to where those go whenever we write them as an algebra statement. So x is going to be greater than -2. So for the inequality, like basically to the left, our Pac-Man should be eating x. For our inequality to the right, Pac-Man should be eating 3 because 3 is the bigger number. Since they can both be equal to, we write equal signs underneath each of them. So on a number line, we're going to have closed circles on -2 and 3, and then they're going to connect in the middle, like all the and inequalities in Algebra 1. So in Algebra 2, you'll see that there's different things that can happen with and or, but for Algebra 1, it's pretty much going to stay ands connect in the middle, and you'll see what ors do next. So the next one says all real numbers less than -1 or greater than or equal to 3. So for or inequalities, they're a little bit easier to write. You basically just write two inequalities the way that we've been writing inequalities, and you write the word or in between them. So since x is less than -1, Pac-Man's going to be eating -1 for the first one. And then x is greater than or equal to 3. So Pac-Man will be eating x, and there will be an equal sign under our inequality. So for or inequalities on a number line, we've got an open circle on -1 and a closed circle on 3, sorry, not 4. And then our arrows are going to go out. So it's less than -1 and it's greater than or equal to 3. Last one in this chart, and then we only have 2 examples after that. So this one says all real numbers less than or equal to -4 or greater than or equal to 0. So again, we're writing two inequalities with the word or in between them. And we have x is less than or equal to -4 or equal to -4. So Pac-Man's going to be eating -4. And then the next one is x is greater than or equal to 0. So both of them are going to have the little line underneath the inequality sign. And Pac-Man is going to be eating -4 for the first one and x for the second one. So when we draw it as an inequality on the number line, we're going to have closed circles on -4 and 0, and our arrows are going to go out. So ands in Algebra 1, ands connect, and ors go out. And that's just a little trick for Algebra 1, but keep in mind once we start solving them, it could change. So now I'm going to show you how to solve those algebraically. So we've been solving ones that just have two sides to them. For solving compound inequalities, it's a little bit different. So for ands, let's write out our problem. So we've got -5 is less than or equal to 2x plus 3, which is less than 9. And to solve this, it's just like a two-sided problem, but now we have three sides. So whatever we do to the side with x in it, we have to do to all three sides. So our first step here is going to be to subtract 3, and we're going to do that to all three sides. So we're doing things in SADMAP order, just like we have been this whole year. So now we have x is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than, should say less than, 6. Last step is divide all three sides by 2. We have -4 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 3. I accidentally put an equal sign underneath that. Just noticing it now. So on the graph, it should be a closed circle on -4 and an open circle on 3. And then they should connect in the middle since this is an and inequality. So I accidentally draw a closed circle on 3. Please write it as an open circle for you. I will be checking that on your notes picture. So for an OR inequality, you basically just solve each part separately. So we've got 2x is less than or equal to 6, or 3x is greater than 12. It's basically like two separate problems of inequalities, but we're going to graph them together. So for the first one to solve, we would just divide both sides by 2. And the other one, we would divide both sides by 3. So we have x is less than or equal to 3, and x is greater than 4. So when we draw that on a number line, we're going to have a closed circle on 3 and an open circle on 4, and our arrows are going to go out.